everyone. I'm Francis Shen, professor at Harvard Medical School and directing the Dana Foundation Career Network in Neuroscience and Society.
Hi, I'm Key. I'm a sophomore at Harvard College, class of 2025, and I'm a research assistant with Shen Labs for the Dana Career Network.
And Key and I are really excited because today we get to talk about neuroethics with Professor Nicole Martinez-Martin. She is an assistant professor in pediatrics and in psychiatry in the Center for Biomedical Ethics at Stanford Medical School and is a leading expert in neuroethics, bioethics, and ethics of AI. And we're so excited to have you here and hoping that you could tell us a little bit about your career journey. How is it that you ended up becoming an expert in neuroethics?
Thank you so much for that question. I think that I started off with an interest in, it started young, having an interest in science fiction, which really led me to think about things like the effects of the sciences, technologies on society, and these kind of big questions of how they may impact human beings. And later on, I went into law school. And in law school, I ended up doing some work as a trainee public defender and working with, it just so happened a number of my clients had mental illness. And as I began to see how people with mental illness were treated, or rather not treated sufficiently if they didn't have access to insurance or appropriate doctors, it really, brought me into thinking more about this intersection of mental health, about brain sciences, and how technologies could be both leveraged in order to help people depending on circumstances, but also later on I began thinking also about how technologies or sciences can impact and shape how different people, different populations in our country may be able to be treated. And that started my road into neuroethics, both with a legal background and also then later on going into social sciences so that I could also have different ways of exploring and being able to address these kinds of questions.
That sounds amazing. What would you say that your day-to-day life looks like as a neuroethics professor?
Well, I feel fortunate that I'm able to do a number of different things day to day. I teach, which I absolutely love, and it's always really wonderful encountering students who themselves are really engaged by these kinds of questions. I also do a lot of reading, research to keep up to date with neurosciences and neurotechnologies. Because I have the law portion, I also do that kind of research, looking into just questions that come up. For me, often privacy, AI, doing that kind of research. And writing on it, but also a part that I really love is social sciences research. And so a certain portion of my time is spent coming up with different interviews with different people who may be impacted. So I've talked to developers of mental health technologies or neurotechnologies. I've talked to patients, and using that material, then also writing articles about these neuroethical questions. So I find myself very fortunate being able to do a number of different things day to day.
Wow, an inspiration. For students and others watching this, what advice would you give them about pursuing a career in neuroethics?
I think listening to me, and if you are hearing other neuroethicists, that there are a number of different pathways to going into neuroethics. Some people come from neurosciences, some people come from the law, as I did. Others, humanities, social sciences. It truly is an interdisciplinary field. And I think in that way, it's my advice is to follow the questions that really excite you. And as part of that, also think about, what's the kind of training, which of these many different areas, interdisciplinary areas, are the ones that speak to you for the ways that you want to be able to answer and engage those kinds of questions.
And just
Very
finally, this
interesting.
has been so helpful for those getting excited hearing this for their careers. What do you think some of the biggest challenges are of pursuing a career in this, or the biggest challenges in the field upcoming, the big questions?
That's a wonderful question. I think that with some of the issues that come up can be, of course, if you're doing research about, how to situate yourself to find funding for that research. And again, that goes with the career paths that, if you are coming from it from social science research, finding those ways, of a job situation, funding situation that helps you explore those questions. But I also think that because it's interdisciplinary work, it's to me, it's a very interesting part of the challenge, but it's talking to people who are really coming at these questions from different areas, whether it's, me as a sort of lawyer, social scientist talking to neuroscientists, and it's, gathering those knowledge from different areas, being able to speak languages. It's all English for me, but or it can be like whatever language that you're learning in. But at the same time, when you're talking to different disciplines, it's really being able to listen to and understand things about how a neuroscientist might say something, and then how that applies to these bigger questions that you're asking. And there's always new and exciting questions. That's again part of what I find is a joy in this area. Always, new areas of exploration, as well as some of the same old questions ultimately about what these technologies and our understandings of neuroscience are telling us about being human, as one of the most basic questions of all.
It's a great place to end. Dr. Martinez-Martin, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with our students. I look forward to following your work.
Thank you very much.